mostly PodOutatNight, mostly. I'm your host, Graveyard, joined by my co-host, Salem.
Hello.
This is episode 190 of our weekly All Things Horror podcast. We're getting close. We're getting close to that big 200.
Yeah, is there going to be like party poppers and confetti and stuff?
Yes. And your favorite slasher will come pay you a visit. That's right. Leatherface will come to your house.
No thanks.
He just wants to cook you some good old-fashioned barbecue.
I'm pretty sure he only can survive in the hot South. I don't think he'll enjoy the weather up here.
That's fair. All right, well, Exorcisms, Easter celebrations, and a world-traveling book dealer. What do they all have in common besides being preachy? Well, the devil, of course. So grab a good book, spin some plates, because that's apparently a necessary power, and just casually shoot the antichrist. We'll be looking at some religious turn-of-the-century movies with The Ninth Gate from 1999, Blessed Child, and Lost Souls, both from 2000. And these are just three of these. I feel like these movies just got lost in the fold back at that time.
I mean, I knew of them. The Ninth Gate I watched. Bless the Child I thought I watched, but I did not.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie I thought was Bless the Child was actually Lost Souls, which we just watched. And that was a movie that I saw about 2/3 of in a movie theater. And then there was a fight in the movie theater that I was in, and they literally shut the movie off and kicked everyone out. And I never bothered to watch the rest of the movie. From 2000 to 26 years ago, I'm just now seeing the ending of a movie that I saw the first 2/3.
Yeah, I would say you weren't missing a whole lot.
No, well, this period in time, I worked in a movie theater in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was a movie that was even remotely interesting enough to go see, I would just go see it because it was free.
Right.
You were technically the official rule. If you did everything by the book, you get 3 movies per week for free, which is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you also work there, so you know everyone. So as long as you're not trying to get into a sold out show, they don't care.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As if it's a theater that's half full, they don't care. They're not going to make that money anyway. It's just you work there. Go ahead. Nobody cares.
Right.
The box office people. The guys working the door, ripping tickets. They let you in. Again, they know which ones are sold out. Obviously, don't go into the ones that are sold out, because then it's there'll be an empty seat and people will be upset.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so yeah, that's why I went to Lost Souls to watch it. Again, would I have paid my own money for that movie? No.
Dude.
Ninth Gate I did. Well, I used my official, free movie that week or whatever. Because I worked there in the late 90s. I only worked there for probably about 6 months ish, but I knew everybody there. So for another 2 to 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
I got free movies.
Nice.
Until I finally got caught. I didn't really get caught, but they knew that I was getting stuff for free, so they told everybody not to do it anymore.
Oh. Yeah, I can see that. I think that's about the time my buddy worked at our local place too, and that's maybe how I saw Ninth Gate, because I was definitely not old enough to have gone and see it, because at that point in time my theater was a stickler for the age limits.
Wow. The one I was at was a giant. It was one of those big 20 screen theaters. So it was huge. You get lost in there.
Nice.
It was so big that because there's the team of people that go and clean the theaters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was always 2 different teams, because there's 20 theaters. So you got to have 2 different teams one on each side of the building. And I would go we're a little bit slow right now. I'm going to go help the other team. And they'd be like, okay. And then I would just go into a theater and watch a movie, and no one would notice. There was that many people there, so it was, I guess, a good job to have in your late teens.
Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, so now you complete it. It's only been 26 years, and you got to finally see Lost Souls.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, and we'll do our best to recap these. A lot of them, not a whole lot happens. especially the first one, Ninth Gate. But yeah, essentially, we are introduced to Johnny Depp, who is well, people call him like what, a piranha of like the used book dealerships. Like, he knows the guy in New York City that has that, stairwell down bookstore, and you've introduced him by, someone that's died. They're trying to sell books. And like this, this is like what he's like $600,000 because this person has like books from like, hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, well, it's like he's like anybody in like a collectible world, right? You know what your grails are, you know what the big money things are, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people who have those collections or inherit those collections don't know what they are.
Right.
So if you throw a big number at them, they're like, whoa, because they have no idea how much it's worth. So if something is worth $1 million and you say, oh, I'll give you $10,000 for this. They're like, wow, $10,000.
Yeah.
They'll take it because they have no idea how much it's worth. And he's like the kind of guy that seems to,
right.
know these, rare book people that are, dying off or whatever, getting good deals for things and then selling them for big profit. That seems to be what he does.
Yeah.
But he's also an actual expert on books. So.
Yeah. And he got like the original Don Quixote's, all 4 volumes for like what, $2,700 essentially. And just price. I don't know if we ever found out how much he actually sold it for.
I think it was like tens of thousands, whatever it was. He made a lot of money. So
yeah. And so he's kind of dealing with that, and he gets called by his, probably I'd say his best client or wealthiest client, and say, hey, I have this book about the 9 gates of hell. I need you to find out. This is my collection. The guy collects like every devil book in existence, and just like this huge, like, pressure chambered vault underneath a building. I assume he owns the entire floor. And he's like, yeah, I need to figure out if these other 2 copies that are in existence are legit or not. And we also have a guy that killed himself, and the wife is like trying to get out all his stuff and find out if this stuff is real or not. Sleeps Johnny Depp and like attacks him, trying to find the book. He's like, okay, cool, but he's got to go to France and Italy, I believe, right? Portugal. And yeah, so he goes to the first place. The guy, that's a caretaker, has like all these books. He's like, huh, that's interesting. He's like looking at the drawings, and he calls them what, templates or graphs or something weird like that. Etchings, which I don't think it's an etching.
Well, again, a lot of times back then they would do like wood block etchings.
Yeah.
And then they would just stamp it with ink and then stamp it on the book. So that's what
yeah. But he sees that, like, interesting. He's looking at these etchings, and a couple people are signing it, and it has LCF. They're like, LCF. Oh, Lucifer, because Lucifer signs all his stuff. Sure. And so it's like interesting. He finds this other book, and like 3 of the etchings in the second book are different. They have AT versus LCF. And he's like making that like, there are differences. A guy kind of being hung differently, a chessboard, like every piece etching across these books are one thing that's different. So they're not all the same.
Essentially there's 9 gates, 9 etchings, and each of the 3 books has 3 that are LCF and
Correct.
6 that are the other one. And the 3 that are the LCF seem like the legit ones. So you need all 3 copies.
Right. But, he talked about, his friend that was at the basement, he gets killed, and he finds out that this guy seems to be that he's hired to do all this stuff, seemingly to follow him around, but he doesn't really know why. He keeps running into a guy who's trying to like beat him up to take his book. He meets this woman that has no name other than the woman, or Green Eyes, as he calls her. And she just happens to be like all at the right place at the right time. Sees him at the very beginning during the guy's lecture. She, sees him like as he's going to get like run over by a car. Anyway, she like meets up with him. He's like, hey, yeah, you should go back to that guy's house. Why? Yeah, he's dead. He's drowned. Interesting. Like his book started to get burned, his copy of the 9th Gate. So like, okay, something weird is going on there. Anyway, he goes like, okay, well, that's weird. I got to go to, my last place here and in France. And he goes there and, meets a woman who's obviously, Baroness is what he calls her, vastly rich and famous. And she's like, yeah, you can't see my book because the guy that bought yours, the guy you're working for, is a jerk. So no. Anyway, and he calls his boss. He's like, you should just wait for her lunch though, because she's like this mega guard woman outside that he's like afraid of. He's like, yeah, just wait till she goes to lunch. And he does that and goes there, gets kind of knocked unconscious as he's reading it and sees that hers are all the same, and wakes up at the table, still alive, and she's dead, like strangled to death and places on fire. He's like, oh shit. Gotta get out of here. So he gets all that stuff, and he eventually gets, he thought he was able to hide his book behind the mini fridge at his hotel he was staying at. And yeah, it was robbed. He's like, that's weird. And he finds out that is the woman that he slept with at the beginning of the movie. She has all the books, and now she's having essentially a black mass, right?
Well, you also find out that her husband wasn't the book collector, she was. And so the husband sold her book behind her back. And that's why she was adamant about getting it.
Yeah. But they believe that they can actually summon Lucifer or his powers by having all the right etchings. And she's having this black mass, and the guy that Johnny Depp is working for comes in and just kills her right in front of like a dozen people. They're also wealthy, and strangles her, and like the pentagram essentially stuck in her neck, and she dies. And he's like, yeah, you're done here. Kind of knocks him out, and he wakes up, he finds him, he realizes that, oh, I'm having this, he's having all the etchings, he's going to get the power of the devil. And he's just going through it, then, sets himself on fire to prove that he has the power, and flames don't hurt him. Spoiler, they do hurt him, and he dies.
After a while.
Yeah, after a while. And the green-eyed woman comes, and, they kind of bone at the flames, and she's like, yeah, cool. And he's like, interesting. And he's like, he has a note on his card. He's trying to leave. Like, oh yeah, that last etching, it's fake, not real. Here's a real one, and it's supposed to look like her riding a mini-head serpent. And he follows it and finds like that it is the ninth, the real ninth etching. And he finds it with like the Star of David, essentially, or whatever, the Jerusalem star it looks like, over the place. And he walks through seemingly the ninth gate.
Well, it's just a bright light.
Yeah.
It shows a bright light in the picture, and when he gets there, it's the same bright light. I don't think it was supposed to be a star.
Yeah, it looked like one, but yes. Yeah, it looked like a star.
Any bright light is going to look like a star.
Yeah, and open-ended, did he find the ninth gate? Did he walk through the ninth gate? Does he get his Lucifer's powers? What's Green Eyes? Is she Lucifer? Lots of questions. I think. What do you think the ending actually means? I guess is my question.
Who knows? I mean, again, it's open for interpretation. That's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, this is kind of like one of Roman Polanski's kind of hallmarks, is that at the end is like it's open to whatever you want to think happens.
Yeah, like because he did Rosemary's Baby,
right? Yeah. So again, it's here's all the pieces of things. Here's the story up until this point, but as to what happens after this or what you think it means, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, again, we see her like fly.
Mm-hmm.
She obviously has supernatural powers, so I don't know. Is she an angel? Is she a demon? Is she Lucifer? Is she, I don't know. Who knows? What was the point? Was she boning him to like make a child, or just because?
Yeah, I took it as she is the ninth gate.
Well, for what? What do the 9 gates do? Right. That's what I'm saying. Like the whole thing. The whole thing is like there's no answers involved. Mm-hmm. Like you can't like find a solution to, because there's not enough clues to find it. It's just open for what you think it could be. The last etching, like she was like naked riding a dragon thing. Does that mean that Johnny Depp is a dragon? Maybe he's a demon that he doesn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's just the seed of the demon, right? Maybe he's, they just conceived the antichrist and he was the dad. Who knows?
Right. That she was Lucifer in woman form. He's essentially the antichrist, making the son of the devil.
Right. Again, Who knows?
Yep.
We don't. You don't know. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things, but again, like all these different etchings, all these different things. Like, oh, this guy's got keys in one hand versus the other hand. Oh, this doorway's bricked up versus not being bricked up. Okay, like what does any of that mean? We don't know.
No, it does not say what the ritual's even supposed to like having the etchings in the right order. What's that do? I don't know.
Well, again, in the beginning, we get like he goes, okay, there's 3 of these books known to be in existence. At least one of them is fake.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, how do you know that? And he's like, well, because this book is supposed to summon the devil. And he's like, okay, so that means you tried to summon the devil and it didn't work. And he doesn't answer the question.
Right.
Which means that he did.
Yeah.
He tried to summon the devil with this book. It did not work. Therefore, he knows that this one is fake. And so he wants him to compare this one to the other 2 to see if the other ones are different in some way from his, because he knows his is, fake. And he eventually finds out that they're all real, but you have to like mix and match the etchings or whatever. But it's not like there was like words in the etchings. There wasn't like instructions on them. They were just pictures. So I don't know how that ritual worked.
Lay him in the right order. Boom, devil.
Yeah. No, I mean, the story was more about like the investigation and everything. It wasn't about like what that meant.
Right. So I know I've watched this, I would say half dozen times in the past 20-something years. I probably watch it every couple of years. I don't know about you.
I think it's only the second time I've seen it.
Okay. Do you want to start with your highlights?
Sure. So I mean, Roman Polanski, I don't like him as a person, but I do like a lot of his films, I guess. He's the kind of person you have to like separate the art and the artist.
You have to work with him, considering that allegations were like 50-something years ago. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're fact. I mean, he will go to jail if he comes back to the U.S. I mean, like he was convicted of statutory rape of a young girl. I think she was like 13 or something. So like, yeah, he was convicted. He will get arrested. That's why he can't come back here. Like every once in a while, a bunch of actors will get together and be like, "Oh, you got to let him come back," and it's like, there's no statute of limitations on a conviction. Like, he's going to go to jail if he comes back. And it's, thankfully they've stuck with that. But again, he does make some interesting films. So it's hard to separate that. Again, Johnny Depp is great in this movie. I think this is kind of his golden era, right? Before he I don't want to say he's sold out because it definitely worked for him. But he started doing bigger and bigger budget movies kind of after this. And this is when he was still doing kind of like, smaller, more interesting movies. I would think.
Yeah. He picked stuff that is really interesting to him as a character.
Right. Yeah. Right. And then then once we hit like Pirates of the Caribbean, it's like, it's all over. Well, again, because once you start making that money, you're not going to go back to not making that money again. Again, I really like the whole black market underground book dealing, right? That's like super fun. Again, like all the books looked pretty much the same. Like, they just had that like old timey leather bound look to them. I think they just went to like the prop department. They're just like, make me like 2,000 red leather bound books, and they did. And
that's all 5 ridges on them. Yeah,
because they all look like exactly the same. I mean, I understand they're not gonna have real old books because they're burning them and shit. But yeah, it was that. The whole mystery and investigation I thought was great. It's kind of got like a noir aspect to it. There's like the whole, femme fatale is involved. There's, like every time he finds something, somebody dies and he's like, on the run kind of thing. It's a very fun mystery investigation. The satanic ritual itself was fantastic. Just like the black robes and people wearing pentagrams, not knowing what the fuck they're doing, which is like what real Satanists like have no idea what they're doing. They're just doing it to have fun. I appreciate that Johnny Depp is not a superhero at all. In fact, like every time he gets in a fight, he just gets the shit beat out of him. Like I don't think he doesn't even like punch anyone back. He just gets beat up constantly. And the woman is like literally his bodyguard because he's like unable to like fight for himself, which I thought was fun. And I like the ending. I mean, it's like it's wide open. You have no idea what's going on. There's so many questions that are unanswered, but again, they're the fun kind of questions. The main questions of like the investigation, what he was doing, like all we get the answers to all of that. We don't know why,
Right.
but that's not the point of the movie. The point of the movie was, he's trying to find out what's up with this book and the different versions of the book. We find all the answers to all that. We just don't get the whole like, what is it really supposed to be doing? We don't, but that's okay. And this one, I think it's that perfect balance of like, you don't know everything that's going on, but that's okay.
Right.
Because it makes it more interesting. It adds more flavor to the pot, I would say. But that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree that the mystery of it all, that it kind of, it's almost like a Robert Langdon, Dan Brown story with that mystery, intrigue, and the globetrotting stuff, and it plays out very well of him going across the world trying to find all these copies of the books. Could they, if Lucifer really wanted to be summoned, would he have him spread across 3 books? Probably not, but you think you'd make it a lot more easier. And that world of the underground book life, as you said, right? Can you imagine having that kind of money? There's like, I just bought this 500-year-old book. Why? To have it.
Well, that's what collecting is. I mean, collecting in essence, collecting anything is essentially that same thing. Like, you pay an outrageous amount of money for something, and that's because people tell you that's what it's worth. And when you get in that world and you like want to be a part of that, you have to pay that money to have that thing, right? That's why, like, some people got shit tons of money and they can just walk in and be like the world's leading collector of something because they just buy all the expensive stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I would love to have that old world money and I'm going to just go spend $1 million in the library.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I know. Like you said, it's like, was, I put this on here, was she the devil or the ninth gate? The open-endedness is interesting. I almost dove into what other people thought, but that's just wanted to hear your thought because, like I said, I assumed that he walked through the ninth gate and got his reward for helping usher Lucifer into the world.
Yeah, I mean, if it, like my personal opinion, based on that final etching, because we know that the etchings mean something, as the like, again, what the rest of it means, like the fucking guy with key in his hand, like labyrinth with a door open. I mean, like, who knows what this shit means? I think it's just the journey.
Yeah.
I think they're just like symbols of his journey. And I think the last page of that is essentially saying that either one, he is a demon or he is the seed of the demon, and that she is riding the demon at the end, meaning that whatever happened, either he becomes the demon by doing that or he has conceived the demon. And again, it's the multi-headed beast, which is most likely the antichrist based on the Bible description. So that's what I think. Yeah. And I don't think he's necessarily going through a gate. I think it's just the 9 gates of his journey to fathering the antichrist, and he was chosen for whatever reasons.
Yeah, you could almost argue that there are 9 trials, and he actually went through the trials as opposed to just having them,
right?
The knowledge of them,
right?
So, that's all I have for my highlights. Go my low points. What was his code to the book all about the devil? Really, 666? Was it that?
Of course,
obvious?
It was.
That's an obvious code for a collection about the devil. Come on.
Well, I mean, if you got that far,
I know, but I'm just saying, like, after all that, the code's 666. I'm like, it made me laugh. I didn't know. That was the first time I actually noticed it being that. And of course, yes, Roman as a person, awful. As a filmmaker, good.
Right. Yeah. To separate the artist, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah. And like I said, and it's just as we said, how does this work? I don't know. Does anyone know how this black mass is supposed to work? Clearly not. And it's just so funny. Like, the guy walks in there, kills one person, and everyone else like scatter. Like, there's more of you than him.
Well, yeah, but you got to realize these are like people that are just kind of doing it for like the giggles, right? They're doing it for like, oh, we're bad, They're having fun doing it. They're not there to like actually murder people or anything. Like, again, most Satanists they don't do that,
right?
But that's what they're doing. They're having like a black mass, but nobody really knows what they're doing because like all the books and shit are out there, are all made up stuff that people just made. like Anton LaVey, I think is the most famous, the Satanic Bible and all that kind of shit. But
Mm-hmm.
the Satanic Bible is funny enough. It has nothing really to do with Satan or Christianity. It's essentially like, you know, what's the tenet of it? Do what thou wilt. It means like do whatever you want, do whatever makes you happy.
Mm.
But it also says, but don't hurt anybody else in the process. So it's like there's nothing bad in there at all. Yeah, it talks about a whole bunch of weird like rituals and shit, but that's just fun.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just doing goofy stuff. It's literally like do whatever makes you happy and don't fuck anybody over. That's essentially what it means.
Yep. But what are your low points?
Um, now you're handling books that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars
With your greasy ass fingers.
Yeah, they're not wearing gloves. They're not in any kind of controlled environment. They're literally smoking and dropping ashes and shit all over the books. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, I've seen books worth like, just a few $100s that people are literally handling with white gloves and won't let you actually touch.
And like special pair of pliers to turn the pages.
Right.
Yeah.
And and it's they're using like calipers to like turn the pages. And but again, they're stored in like acid-free boxes, like all this goofy shit. And like this guy is a book dealer that knows how much these things are worth, knows how much these things can like harm, the value of it. And he's literally like smoking, reading like $1 million book. Like, what the fuck is, I mean, I guess that's just the point. You're supposed to see him as like the kind of noir detective that doesn't give a shit and just wants to get the thing done. But yeah, I was like cringing every time they did that because it happened a lot. The scene when they were on the motorcycle, the green screen was horrible.
Yes, it was.
It was so bad. It was like laugh out loud bad. And then bone and magic. I don't know. Bone and magic is always just weird to me. Like, oh, we're boning, we're doing a thing. Okay, what are you doing? We're boning. Whatever. That's all.
All right. So our odds this week are religious ceremonies gone wrong, because I don't think a religious ceremony went right. Anyone conducting one in any of these movies.
Well, because they're all like satanic rituals. You can't let them win.
Yeah, you can. That'd be more interesting. But how many religious ceremonies gone wrong out of 10 do you give The Ninth Gate from 1999?
I really like this movie. And again, it's I gotta separate the art from the artists. The movie as it is, I gotta say, I'll give it an 8.75.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm going with 9 because, like I said, I watch it every couple of years, and it's just one of those that is very religious, but good.
Well, it's religious in a good way. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, yes, there's like, people doing things. There's obviously supernatural things happening, but we don't get like, this is your traditional God versus devil.
Right.
Like, angels and evil stuff is happening. We don't get any of that. There's obviously something going on, but is it what we think it is? Is it something different? Is it something else? Is it misinterpreted? I mean, who knows?
Right.
But that's I'm not against religious movies. I'm just against when they go for the generic good v bad, God v devil stuff. It's boring.
Well, I mean, that's a good segue into Bless the Child from
yeah. Right. So it's kind of funny because I mean the cast in this movie is ridiculous. But what they get out of that cast is
ridiculous.
I mean, sad trombones. I mean, it is like wow. Anyway, so synopsis of Bless the Child. So Kim Basinger, the Kim Basinger, I guess, is a lady.
She's a nurse.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember what she did.
She did her job once, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, she's a nurse. She has a sister who's a junkie who shows up at her door with a baby. Like, oh, this baby's only like 7 years old, and then she finds out, oh, I'm still shooting heroin, but the baby is somehow not addicted to heroin. And I just need some help like raising the baby. And she's like, okay, fine. And then so the sister just gives her the baby and essentially leaves.
Correct.
Fast forward like 6 years in the
Because it's
future.
1999.
Right, yeah, so it's the child is now 6 years old. She's a girl, obviously, and she's like autistic.
We'll get to
Um, well,
that.
this is what this basically this beginning plot line is like. She's like not like other kids. She doesn't like engage the same way. She doesn't have the same emotions, blah blah blah. She seems like she's distracted, possibly hearing voices, blah, typical, oh, she's something wrong with her. So, um that's kind of where it leans, or like they're trying to figure out what's going on with her. There's a side story, kind of background news stories of like um all 6-year-old children are being like kidnapped and murdered and found dead later on, and they eventually find out that they were all like born on the same day.
December 16th? Yeah.
No idea why that matters, but so they're all born on the same day, so they end up finding out, oh man, that's the girl's birthday. And so the girl gets kidnapped, right?
Mhm.
Big shock. Um, and then she's like, freaking out, trying to look for her. Jimmy Smits is a detective who was like an ex, like not priest, but seminary student who
Yeah,
became a detective. um,
FBI agent. Yeah, that went
right. So
too
he's
many
like,
murders.
yeah, he's investigating this because there's obviously like occult ties to this. They end up finding out that it's like the people involved in the murder are like, they have tattoos of like this devil pitchfork, which is like some kind of like subsect of Satanism or some made up bullshit. Um, and then there's like they're branding the children with this mark when they find them dead. Anyway, so there's another kind of, I guess, subplot of like this guy who's got a new, it's kind of like a cult, but kind of like like a rehab
Tony
type, like,
Roberts self help.
right, that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Rufus Sewell is the guy who runs that.
Mhm.
So anyway, so the girl gets kidnapped, and she ends up finding out that um the girl was kidnapped by her mother, who is now like apparently like straight shooter, married to the guy that runs the cult. And they're all like, dressed up like nuclear family, sweater vests and and everything like, looks good and clean. And so they're like, oh, oh yeah, we're taking her back, thanks for watching her for 6 years, but I'm in a good place now. We're gonna take her back and we're gonna watch her. Obviously Kim Basinger knows that something is wrong. She looks deeper into um this cult and finds out that there's a lot of shady stuff going on. Eventually she's keeps trying to get the kid back. She goes to, they finds out that they live in like a hidden house in like the ghetto.
Mhm.
And she finds the house and she goes there and she finds out that like their butler is the guy that's been kidnapping kids, like based on a police sketch. So at this
Poor
point
police sketch at that.
right, yeah, so like at this point they're like, oh, okay, there's like um this is, now we know that they're involved with these kids somehow.
Mhm.
um I guess now we could say that the little girl does have some kind of like power. She can like, again, make plates spin and make toys spin. That seems to be like the limit of her
And bring a bird back to
power.
life.
Oh yeah, she brings a bird back to life. So she's apparently like, Jesus or whatever, has magic powers.
Because she was the thing is, everyone born on that date, when they were born, they had the Star of Nazareth at that. It has been 2,000 years, so it's like the rebirth of Jesus is what they're essentially looking for. Yeah.
So yeah, so they basically like, she finally finds enough evidence to like, hey, these guys are like, part of the child kidnap and murder ring. They're doing something bad. They're gonna kill the girl too. So she gets Jimmy Smits and the cops involved. And they end up going to some like church in the middle of nowhere and like trying to uh do some kind of ritual with the child to like, bring in the devil or whatever. It's some other generic
Yeah,
bullshit.
he's like teasing her, like, "Hey, you can save this homeless man before I set him on fire." And she does. And like, okay, and he's still on fire. He's like, "Hey, you should jump and see if your God saves you or my God saves you," and just like trying to make her evil. like trying to take the son of God and make her or daughter of God, make her the daughter of the devil, I guess.
I don't know. And it's, again, there's a whole lot of up in the air here. So
Mm-hmm.
there's, yeah, like a ritual at the end to where she has to like decide whether she wants to be good or bad. And then there's kind of like a battle because like angel glowy things show up and start fighting people, and then the police show up and then they're shooting everybody, and uh some of them see the angel things and then like they save everybody, and then that's like the end.
Yeah, because we know you can kill demons and devils with guns.
I, it's funny because I was like watching it until that scene, this really the final scene of the movie. I'm like, there's been quite a few guns, but not one gun shot
Mm-hmm.
yet, until that scene. And then there's a bunch of gunshots in that scene, but up until that scene, so like however long the movie is, so like up to like 5 minutes before the end is the first time a gun gets fired. And of course, like evil bad man has to put the gun to the kid's head because that's what bad people do. That's how you know they're bad people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then he gets, killed, and then all the people disperse and the angels go back to the star or whatever, and then the kid is like happy with her aunt and her mom,
Mm-hmm.
who was like being drugged by the evil cult man and kept under his control, and now she can be free, I guess.
Yes.
Whatever.
She's free to make her own friends out of spare body parts. It's May.
Right.
Yeah. I thought I hadn't seen this movie until I watched it, and I go, "Oh yeah, I have seen this movie."
Again, I thought this was, I don't know if I just got them crossed up because they came out at the same time, but yeah, this one I did not see.
Okay.
I don't even really, I remember the name of it, but again, in my mind, it got crossed up with Lost Soul.
Yeah, but like I said, this is kind of like I would say generic prophecy stuff.
It's overly generic in the whole like good v evil, Jesus versus the devil stuff. It's like very very generic. There's literally no gray area. It's like bad is bad, good is good. Period. There's nothing in between. Like it literally, like the FBI agent involved has to be like a seminary student, right? Like so we know, oh, he's a good guy. Like that doesn't necessarily make you good or bad, but that's like the kind of level this movie is working at. Like again, very generic.
Yeah. I'll go through my highlights. It's a okay, like from a thriller perspective, it's okay. Like the uncovering of the cult, which is I thought was interesting. Now, this movie has good actors, not good acting, but good actors.
Correct.
That's about it for me. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, again, the cast, like you said, the cast is good. The acting is terrible, but the cast is fun. We even get a small role from like Christina Ricci in this movie.
Yeah, at her like the peak of her popularity.
I don't know if that was a peak. I think this was her comeback tour.
Well, I mean, she did this and then like Sleepy Hollow and all that. Yeah,
right. Yeah, but I'm saying like she was on her way up, but it's like a small role in a kind of crappy movie, which is interesting.
Yeah,
like the main star is Kim Basinger and Jimmy Smits, and then Rufus Sewell as the head of the cult. That's funny. I mean okay, so when the baby is given to the aunt, right? She keeps telling the kid, so the kid is aware that she is not her mother.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me because most people will just lie and say, I'm your mother. And then the kid gets very confused later on when you say, oh, I guess you're not your real mom. Like, this is your real mom. Like, no, she like literally keeps a picture of her real mom next to her bed. Like, this is your real mom. I am just like watching you and taking care of you. That to me is interesting because they almost never ever do that. It's always just like lie to the kid because it's easier. I'm your mom. You'll figure out the rest later.
Yeah.
And again, like I think it's not really about the movie. It's just it's a good example of people thinking like the satanic panic is like real, right? And like this is how the real world is.
Right.
Obviously minus the supernatural parts, but there's like these like satanic, groups that are like kidnapping children and shit. Like satanic panic, like they literally believe this shit was like really happening.
Correct. Yeah.
Obviously it was not. And anyway, the only like Satan worshippers out there are like, overzealous Slayer fans. That's basically it. So it's kind of like an example for like, the believers as to like, ooh, this is a spooky, scary movie. Like kind of how like I see as like The Conjuring, right?
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, it's spooky, scary, but only if you're really like into Jesus. Otherwise, it's just a pretty tame, mild thing, right?
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot of scenes in the movie of like apparently angels like doing little things to help.
Like holding the train door open.
Right.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And they're always kind of like weirdly just kind of placed and they don't really do anything active, which is interesting. I don't think that's good or bad. I just thought it was interesting. But anyway, I'll go into my low points there. The dude that is like literally trying to get the kids in the van. It is like all the greatest hits from Stranger Danger, right? It's like, oh, hey, you want some candy? Oh, hey, I got a puppy. You want to see my puppy? Oh, look, here's my van with the puppy. Come on in. Like it's the most generic like child abduction I've ever seen in my life. It's like it looked like a police training video.
Or like the Christian high school like PSAs.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this is not how real life is.
Correct.
The acting is horrible. I will say the worst is probably Kim Basinger. She is terrible in this.
I don't think she wanted to be here in this movie.
No, I'm pretty sure she didn't. I'm pretty sure she wanted to get out of the contract and she couldn't. So she just kind of like, phoned it in. The kids are just all bad. But again, I don't think it was directed very well, so I can't really say that. The FX in this movie are atrocious. I mean, the rats, they use the rats more than once, and they are very, very terrible looking. The like evil demons floating in the sky, like it literally looks like a kid made them. Like they are very, very bad. There's like the one old lady like becomes a Medusa for like a second. It looks horrible. I mean, the sister sucks.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing I didn't quite understand in this film. Like, if the real mom comes back and she's in a stable position, there's like not a court in the world that would give her back to the aunt.
Correct.
She would just be able to just take her kid. And so I'm sitting there like, why is this a thing? Like, why? Like, I understand the aunt's concerned because she thinks things are wrong, but like, why are the police getting involved in that? Like, she came forward, she says, yes, I'm the mom. This is my kid. I'm taking care of her now. The police should have been like, okay, I guess it's nothing we could do. That's what they should have done because that's her mother. The aunt freely admits that's her mother. And then she goes, but, she's being controlled by this evil guy. And like, they have no evidence at this point. They should have just left it.
Correct.
But like, this movie keeps going because like, oh, we know she's evil and bad. Like, you don't know nothing. Like, she's the mother of the child. Like, she's appears to be a straight shooter now, married, husband, home, all that stuff. Like, there's all the court would just go, here's your kid back. If she ever even filed for like real like guardianship, because she may not have, because she kept telling her your real mom was going to come back one day. Maybe she was just taking care of her and didn't have the legal part of it.
I don't know.
Again, it was just goofy. The bad guys, right? I use that, loose in quote. They're like the most clean, generic, like evil, satanic people I've ever seen. Like, it's literally just take like regular people, just put like black clothes on them.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, they're all very clean, very like clean cut. And they have like just black clothing. And that's it. Like generic clothing, like no cool like spikes or like or anything. Like, I think one of them has like a chain going from like their nose to their ear, and that's like the big evil thing. But like otherwise they just like totally normal generic teenagers. Like, but they're super evil bad people.
The shop a hop topic. Yeah.
Again, it's like very, very heavy like pro church propaganda. I mean, like, there's literally scenes where like the people are going like, oh, atheism, is bad. Atheism is teaching people not to care, and that's what's causing the devil to gain ground. And like literally, like church propaganda is in this film. It's very bad. And again, like okay, the old lady who's the nanny that the real mom hired is like a Medusa. We've seen that she's like a Medusa evil demon lady, right? And then there's a scene later on that I was just like, I was so confused, and then like I thought was hilarious. Is this evil demon Medusa lady sees the plates being spun by this girl and is like shocked. She's like, oh, like you're a fucking demon. Like there are way more interesting things like happening in this world. Like for one, you're a fucking demon. There's flying demons floating around outside of your fucking house. Like there's all kinds of crazy shit going on, and you're like blown away by this kid that could spin a fucking plate with her mind. Like it was so stupid. I think it's just a good example of the whole movie. It's like the whole movie is just like this lame plate spinning, and everybody's like trying to react like it's a great thing, and it's not. It's not. That's all I got.
Yeah. I watched parts of it with my wife. She goes, she's not autistic in the slightest. I go, I know. She's not.
They were trying to like imply that she probably wasn't autistic. She was just like hearing like Jesus's voice or something, and it was distracting her. I don't know. They never like explained it, but they kind of implied that that's.
But I'm not saying this is like the piss poor diagnosis of autism that they had at that point.
Well,
like it was awful.
That's also true.
I mean, you said that she didn't say her mom. Like I would just say that I'm your mom, and don't worry about this other mom that's probably dead of an overdose somewhere. Like just move on with your life.
That's a shitty thing to say.
I know. I was saying in this case, but poor Christina Ricci just to get demon smoke beheaded in the subway.
Well, she's probably thankful she got taken out of the movie.
I guess. And I go, why Easter? Why that you have to, no matter what you choose, you have to get killed to get re-risen on Easter? Like, no, that's Good Friday where Jesus dies and then comes back to life on Easter. Like, why Easter? Like, why not the end of the year? They never explained why.
Well, here's the thing. People that like believe in like satanic cults and shit like that usually don't have a firm grasp on like actual church practices.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They know like these generic things, but they don't know like the details. They only know like the generic upper level. And that's the kind of what they're working with in this.
I guess, but I'm like, their timeline makes zero sense to me. And like the way that like they try to kill her, like they could have killed her many times. Like we're gonna make it seem like you're on pills and drinking, and then suddenly you wake up and you're driving the wrong fucking way on the bridge. How'd the car get there? Where's the person that got you to that point as you're speeding towards this oncoming traffic? It's not like she just jumped the lane. No, this is like the wrong side of a bridge.
That's what I'm saying. Like at that point, all they could have done is like call the police.
Yeah.
And said like, yeah, I'm the real mother. I'm taking my child back, and she like won't let me. Like trespass her off my property. Like that's all they had to do, and then she would be legally protected. I don't understand the whole like put her in a car going the wrong way. Like I don't know what the logistics of that would be.
Yeah, and like I said, like maybe a demon flew out of there. No, they didn't even show that. She just wakes up going the wrong way in the 4 lanes of traffic. Like what? How'd she get there? It makes no sense. Yeah, that part just really pissed me off too. It's just like so stupid. Like, and then like the angel came to save her as she's almost off the bridge. Like, why didn't you just take the wheel and just drive her? Why did they not intervene before that? You know what I mean? It's just heavy-handed, preachy bullshit that just makes zero sense.
Like again, like if the Satan like followers are out in the streets like literally murdering people, why can't like the angels get involved?
Correct.
I don't understand those rules.
I don't get it. That's not an escalation. That is a
right
level. That's a level.
Literally meeting. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So I'll go first. Number of religious ceremonies going wrong on 10. I actually do not like this movie.
What?
Yeah, I never need to see it again in my life. I've seen it twice now. So I will give this 1.5 religious ceremonies out of 10. How about you?
Yeah. I mean, there's not a whole lot going for it here. I mean, I
Mm-mm.
think Christina Ricci is fun to see her. I mean, Rufus Sewell, I do like him. Um, I like Jimmy Smits. I mean, I don't. Yeah, two.
Two. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so we'll go through Lost Souls once again. Not a whole lot of plot in this, but essentially it stars Winona Ryder, and we see her that she had a demon possess her at one point, and then she's a teenager. Her parents died, and now she's able to like assist the church in exorcisms. I'm not sure how that works.
Well, I mean, you can have anybody assist you. I
I
mean, you
know.
just need. I mean, she's not like doing the exorcism, but she's like essentially like a nun.
Yeah, yeah. She works at a at a school, and eventually like the church comes to her and is like, hey, we need this exorcism. Oh, this guy is possessed. We have to figure out what's going on here. And then we're introduced to like the guy who's, I would say, the main star. I don't think Winona Ryder's in the movie less than him. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, and she finds out there's a guy like with vision and stuff like that, that it's going to be a this TV guy who's like a crime writer and serial killer like writer. He's like, yeah, his name was there, and he is going to be the antichrist because essentially like what, he was baptized but by like a relative that was a priest that only
Well,
everybody
yeah.
only.
Essentially, what they're doing is there's like a checklist of all the things that
Mhm.
the Antichrist will have.
Yeah,
And all of these things were disguised in his records so that no one would suspect him.
right, but yeah,
Not that
it's
anybody was looking, but in case anybody ever did. So yeah, he had his like uncle
yeah,
who was hiding like, oh, he's a priest, but he's only ever done one baptism, and that was the one baptism was this kid.
right,
So it's like it's highly doubtful that he actually did the baptism. It's just on paper. There's the whole like he had to be a product of incest. And he was like, no, no, my mom and dad are these people, and it's like, no, the
your blood
dude,
type is your AB
yeah,
positive, your parents have like a and an O positive, and that therefore your blood type cannot be that,
right.
and you have a pentagram somewhere around you, almost like a hex bag. I feel like.
Well, I don't know. That part is really fucking stupid to me
Uh
because
huh.
they find a pentacle. They call it a pentacle, and it is a pentacle. A pentacle is not bad.
Correct.
A pentacle has nothing to do with Satanism in any way.
It's a protection spell.
Right. So like why would a pentacle mean anything? But again, I think they're misunderstanding at a fundamental level what a pentacle and pentagram is.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, essentially, like all these things are leading to it. A guy that was supposed to be there like tried to kill him because he was supposed to be the body for the devil, and that was Elias Cortez, right? Was that Elias that tried to kill him?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was like part of the exorcisms, and like the church's plan was just like, yeah, well, after you turn, or like we may have this ritual to save you, but I don't think they did. I don't think we even knew what the ritual was supposed to be to save him. But yeah, like they go try to figure out what's happening to him. All these signs are there, and like there's a guy that's possessed by a demon who couldn't hurt him because he's going to be the vessel. He finds out like his girlfriend was in all this. It's like, yeah. Oh, by the way, on your 33rd birthday, the exact time of your birth, you will get turned. So we're gonna take you to this my priest. He's gonna save you, and the priest is also possessed, which is interesting. And he's like, yeah, no, sorry. And so they're driving like, hey, it's like gonna be 4:55. That's when you're born. That's gonna happen. You're gonna turn, and 4:55 happens, and he doesn't turn. Cool. And then they realize the clock was a little fast. And then he kind of starts to turn, and when the rider just shoots him in the head, shoots him in the chest, and you're done. Yeah.
And
I
then casually walk away and the credits roll. I'm like, that was it?
I personally didn't know the devil could be killed with a gun.
Well, here's the thing. I was going to talk about this later, but I'll talk about it now. If you know, like, again, I'm not saying this is true, but the like all the antichrist rules, like again, they're following the rules, like talking about like, you know, product of incest, right? Not baptized, blah blah blah, all the fucking rules. The rule of the antichrist when he comes into full power is that he is killed and he comes back to life.
Mm.
That's literally what it says. He's the opposite of Jesus. So Jesus got killed and came back
Hmm.
to prove he's the son of God. The Antichrist gets killed and comes back, and now he's the Antichrist. But he doesn't like declare himself the Antichrist. No, it's just he is killed and then comes back. Just like Jesus, but that's like when his full power comes out.
Hmm.
Again, this stuff is all over the fucking place because there's like literally like fucking Nostradamus is involved in a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, it's all over the place, but there's like a kind of set bunch of rules that these people follow. Like if you know the Left Behind series,
Yeah.
okay? Like the Christian like apocalypse. I call it like the Christian stand because it's kind of like what it is.
Hmm.
Is they literally follow all of those rules. Those are like the antichrist, you know, unspoken rules that are found again from a bunch of different sources. There's some stuff from the Bible, there's some stuff from like the Apocrypha, there's some
Hmm.
stuff from again like Nostradamus and stuff like that gets mixed in there because again anything that makes it sound cooler and gives you a, you know, definitive story, they kind of slap it in there. But that is one of the main things is that it's supposed to be assassinated because he's supposed to be a world leader.
Mm. Yeah.
He's supposed to be a world leader of some kind, and then he is assassinated and like declared dead, but then he somehow comes back to life.
Hmm.
That is supposed like the official truth of the Antichrist. And so like she shoots him dead. That probably means she made him the real Antichrist because now he's gonna come back.
Sure. I guess. I don't know. I don't think they knew what they're doing in this movie
No,
either.
I don't think they did either. I'm just saying, like, if you actually like knew the goofy rules that you're following, you would know that you actually just really made the Antichrist by killing.
Yeah, and they probably picked 33 because that was the idea that Jesus was 33 when he died, right? Not at the same time of his birth. For my, I don't believe at all. I don't think it was ever stated that way in the Bible.
No, again, they're giving you a definitive time so that you have a clock to run against, right? So you have that sense of suspense and tension. That's what
Yeah,
they're going for. If you just had a vague of like, yeah, it'll happen eventually, who knows when? Like again, you're not going to be on the edge of your seat, right? You're not
yeah.
going to be like seeing any suspense at all. You're just gonna be like, yeah, whatever, okay, I guess it'll happen, maybe. But if you say it'll happen 4:55 p.m., like, oh, now we have a clock. You know, now we know what we're running.
Now, do you buy that he was turned at all, or that he just killed him?
Well, I mean, in the context of this film, I mean, we have definitive supernatural things happening,
Hmm.
right? We have real possessions, we have real exorcisms, we have, you know, like literally the fucking clock turns to 666.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like these things they're supernatural stuff. Like that stuff wouldn't happen in real life. If it was just the clock turned 4:55 and she shot him, I think that would have been a much more open-ended like it
Mm.
is did she do it? Did she not? If like the 666 showing up at the clock basically means that she did it.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious that she shot him twice. Like bang, one shot and then she fucking shoots him again. Bang, like wow. Like you really wanted to make sure.
Hmm. I also assumed that being shot in the head and chest would be more bloody than
Well, not
not.
necessarily
Yeah,
if the angle was right.
I guess. Um, yeah, I'll go. I'll go first with my highlights. Cast was good. I like the cast. They did a good job. Um, it's interesting that he knew all this stuff and really didn't have any control of his outcome. You know what I mean? Like there's not really didn't really seem like there's going to be a way to save him. And it's always interesting when the priest gets possessed because you think they wouldn't be able to be possessed, right? That they should be safeguarded and have, the Holy Spirit and God with them at all times. Therefore, they shouldn't be able to be possessed. But I guess that's kind of just showing like how powerful these demons are.
Well, yeah. If it's around the Antichrist, you're gonna have your big guns out,
Of course,
right?
yeah,
So your
you're gonna
big
have
guns are
Steve
gonna
from
be doing big
accounting.
gun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, that's about all I have. How about you?
High points. Yeah, I mean the cast is great.
Hmm.
Writer John Hurt. I think there's a couple like side people that I noticed I thought was funny. Is there's a Skylar from Breaking Bad was one of
Hmm.
the TV personality lady, um, like Black Mariah from Luke
She
Cage.
looks like the same.
Yeah, she looks exactly the same. Like 20 years earlier,
Mhm.
from Luke Cage. Like the is interesting just seeing a couple other people. Um, but I did like how like the one priest was literally talking to Winona Ryder as like the modern day priesthood believes is that there's not an actual devil. Then this is, again, they're not going to like tell you that in church because they kind of want people to believe that. But like the people that like, oh, the devil is real, like those are the kind of outliers. Like the real church doesn't like preach evil devil. They see that they teach the devil as a concept,
Right.
right? Not necessarily an actual real person. And that guy was like literally talking to her in the modern day, world of like, yeah, there's not an actual devil. Maybe you should calm the fuck down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she's like, no, it's real because again, in this movie it is. So
Hmm.
now the bathroom scene where she like because Winona Ryder starts having like visions where she actually like seemingly gets like transported to another world. That
Hmm.
transformation of that bathroom is like almost exactly like the otherworld transformation in Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Like all the walls like cracked, like the tiles, everything became like old and rusty looking and dark, and
Hmm.
like every like it was literally like an otherworld transformation. And I'm sitting here looking like this is 2000. This is like before Silent Hill. I wonder if this
Thereabouts.
is. I wonder if this is where they got inspiration for that. Um, because it yeah really did look like it. Again, like she actually like double taps him and shoots him
Hmm.
twice. I thought that was great. There's a lot of like weird ambient sound in this movie. So like when there's no like quiet moments, like whenever there's gonna be like a quiet moment, like the guy like, oh, when he finds the pentacle like on the floor underneath his apartments, like there's constant like sirens and horns and shit happening in the background.
Hmm.
Like when like Winona Ryder's like, kind of in a quiet scene where she's like trying to like figure out what's going on. There's like a dog constantly barking in the background. Like there's no like quiet moments. Like they have all these like this weird ambient sound behind it, like trying to like keep you amped up and active. I thought it was an interesting use of it. Um, they didn't really address it directly, but you can see like wherever that dude went, like aggression was ramping up,
Oh,
like
the
wherever he
the
was
demon
around.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Henry. Yeah.
Right. Because it was like people were just like randomly fighting in the streets and stuff. Like dogs were like attacking each other and stuff like that. Like just when he was like around. So like his whole presence was like causing things to get crazy, which I thought it was fun because they didn't like directly say anything about it. It was just like, showing that this
Oh,
is the direction it's moving
almost like
in.
Legion.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool. That's all.
All right. What are your low points?
A low point is like, oh, the devil is real. And
Hmm.
now it becomes a generic good versus evil. I was like, it's could have kept it like, more of a gray area and kept it interesting, but no, I went full generic. The whole, yeah, real exorcism, oh, God is definitively real. I have proof. Like, okay, what's your proof? That you're possessed by a demon? Like, how do you know that? Whatever. The CGI has some pretty weak points there. I think the other world transformation was a lot of the wall cracks were happening, the mirror cracks were happening. Like when the knife was like going to her eye, it was a very very bad CGI.
Hmm.
So like the concept of what was happening was cool, but the CGI like in practice was not great. The whole pentacles aren't bad. It's so I was sitting there like, okay, like so somebody like is trying to protect him, but the way that they did it is like, oh, the lady that is his girlfriend slash wife is like actually like part of the cult and like put this thing there to like keep him crazy, which is false, but whatever. And again, the ending is just like very flat and very anticlimactic. Like it's like that's it. Like that's what we got. And I think it's more interesting to think it in the concept of, like I said, the Antichrist is supposed to be killed and is supposed to come back from the dead. And I think that makes it more interesting to me that that's
Right.
what's happening, that she caused it to happen by trying to like save the world. And that's,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, just like the Jeebus.
Mm. That's all you got?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know about like religious movies in this time period, but it's like everything's so like muted color wise, right? Like I forgot how the 2000s movies looked at this point in time.
Well, it's like the DVD screen door. Like they all look like that in that time period.
Yeah, it's just I'm like I'm sick of it. And like it felt really weird, especially like when they're walking through the streets. It just felt weirdly shot. I don't know. The demon noises are like ask a 5-year-old what a demon sounds like. The groans, that's the demon noises we got.
Right. Well, I think the thing of like trying to shoot like streets and alleyways and the way they look and stuff is we're still in the aftermath of Seven at this point.
Correct.
And Seven kind of like fucking redefined what like urban shots should be in this kind of film. And I think this is like people still trying to come to terms with how to like make it look good without directly ripping off Seven. And I think that's the result.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. And I said, like, what the fuck was the plan? We have a plan. We're gonna save him. Like, I'd be interested to know how they were going to stop this takeover.
Well, I think that's funny is that okay, there's one guy, one priest, two priests that actually like know that the fucking antichrist is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't convince any of their friends.
Right.
Like none of them. There's no other priest in the entire priesthood that would believe you and back you up. Not one.
Right.
Like that's ridiculous.
Well, and it kind of goes into the whole thing. Like if like, and that's the thing that bothers me a lot. And I think that was in a couple of movies with Jennifer Carpenter. Like if you believe that God is real, then you'd have to believe the devil is real, right? Like they have to go hand in hand. They have to.
Well, again, that depends. That depends on your definition of it. If the devil is found out to be real, like you have definitive proof, then I guess yes, there would be definitive proof that would mean that God is there because it's a product of one.
Right.
Is the other. But God existing doesn't necessarily mean there's a devil in the sense of what we think the devil is.
I don't know, but like I said, if you believe exorcisms are real, that's proof enough, right?
Right.
Yeah. And like I said, I like your take of the ending a lot more because if it wasn't killing him to have him come back as Antichrist, just shooting him after the change is doing nothing. Like if you truly believed he was going to change, just shoot him beforehand.
Right. I mean, it's again. I think the ending would have been better in one of two ways. One is that she just shoots him.
Yep.
Without any supernatural stuff happening because, like open-ended. Like, was he, wasn't he? Is she just a murderer or did she stop the evil bad stuff from happening?
Right.
And like this way, it's like, okay, like there's definitive supernatural thing that happened and she just didn't think it's just like bang. It's like the, you ever see the movie 4 Rooms?
I don't think so.
Anyway, there's a scene where Tim Roth has a cleaver and he's supposed to like they're going to light their lighters 10 times in a row, and as soon as it doesn't light, he chops a finger off. And so it's like, chick doesn't light, thump. It just goes chick thump, like literally that fast, and he just like walks out, and it just feels like that, where it's like bump bump, done.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
But yeah. So I think either way, if they would have done it before or after, it's open ended.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't know what they were going for. If that's what they were, I don't know if that's what they're going for. But either way, I think it's open.
Yeah. All right, that's all I have. So Salem, how many religious ceremonies gone wrong out of 10 do you give Lost Souls from 2000? Now that you've finally seen it.
Oh yeah, now that I finally completed it, I think it was like right at the point where they like definitively found out that he was the Antichrist. This is when the fight broke out in the theater. It was like two shitty groups of people, right? And they were both like drunken idiots, and they were like, one of them was like making a lot of noise, like booing the movie, and the other people were like, shut the fuck up, we want to watch the movie. And they were just started fighting, like literally got up in and like boxing in the aisles. I was like, what the fuck? And then like they came in and yeah, they like had the security come in and like break it up, and they were just like handed everybody like free movie passes, and they're like, sorry, we're gonna have to stop the movie. Okay. But yeah, so I don't know. It's better than Bless the Child,
That's true.
but not by much. So we'll go 4.
Yeah, I was gonna go about 3-ish, 3 for this one. It's an interesting watch, but you said it just still boils down to preachy, good versus evil. And it's just like I said, I don't know. In my head, Stigmata and End of Days is far superior to these two.
Yeah. Yeah, these are kind of like the lower tier generic-y ones.
Yeah.
To where they had bigger budgets and they could do more fun stuff. But they also, I think, had more fun storylines.
It's not often you have Arnold Schwarzenegger yelling at the devil.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I love Arnold. I mean, I know it's as a kid, like, my two favorite movie stars were Arnold and Jean-Claude.
Yeah. Yeah, I said.
But anyway, I was a big Winona Ryder fan. I still am a big Winona Ryder fan. But at this time, I was a big Winona Ryder fan, and I agreed to go see this movie because Winona.
That's fair.
And after seeing that she was like basically like a fucking nun, I'm like, oh, this is boring. That's why I just didn't care to finish it.
Well, now you have your bucket list is complete for that one.
Yay!
All right. Anything else you'd like to add before we close it up? All right. Well, I don't know about you, but I need to clear my head of the devil, and what better way than with tequila and tacos? Join us next week as we celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Mexican horrors, Santa Sangre, The Untamed, and Kronos. I am not sure I've seen any of these.
I don't believe I have either. I think I may have seen parts of Santa Sangre, but that's it. The other ones I have not seen.
Yes, and Kronos is the Guillermo del Toro movie from like the early 90s, I believe, right?
I have no idea.
I believe it has the golden scarab. If I'm not mistaken.
I'll take your word for it.
So, all right. So that's what we'll be doing next week. So remember, we watch bad movies, so you don't have to. And this has been Graveyard saying, have you checked on the children?
This is Salem saying, long live the new.